I think it's a good thing every once in a while to look back over the flops of movies just so we can kind of understand where things have gone wrong, you know. Because we can remember the movies, say, that were made in like 2008, 2009, movies back then like Forrest Gump, Robocop, Demolition Man, and these are probably made even before those times. But my point is, pre 2016, there's a lot of movies and IPs that came out that are world renowned, right? So around the world, you heard of Dragon Ball, like people heard of RoboCop, like people heard of these like movies, animes, TV shows, these IPs that's sold worldwide, and it's odd where they're the idea is they have the DEI, so diversity, equity, and inclusion, and these are things. I made a video about this, and these are the I guess the sermon that the woke ideological corporate environment is spewing, but none of it includes a product that is like shown around the world. So like Disney, despite Walt Disney, as in the man himself, having interesting ideas about Nazism and all that, like Disney as a franchise and as an IP was the most inclusive, right? It spread worldwide. Like people in Africa knew about it, people in China like Disney, people in Europe like Disney, South America. Look, even transcended ideology, so you had the communists and the Nazis, people who absolutely hated each other, will be like, yeah, we like Disney and Disney TV shows. And yeah, there's a lot of like cartoons talking about like the Japanese that, in Disney that talked about the Japanese or that portrayed Nazism and all of that. And obviously, those shows are banned now, but we live in an age where Walt Disney himself would not be hired into his own company because he doesn't fit, I guess, the, uh, what's the word? He doesn't fit the ideological lens of the type of person you want to hire at Disney. And I think if that's the case, maybe the problem is the lens. Maybe the problem is the standard. If the man that created Disney created the IP that was world renowned wouldn't be hired back into his company. So, 38 great movies that flopped at the box office. I'm assuming this is current. Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, this one looked interesting, but historical things are fine if it's educational, right? If it's Hollywood's rendition of historical movies, people just, you know, tune out. Like, I guess Oppenheimer was the one exception, but it was made by Christopher Nolan, or was it Christopher Nolan or Jonathan Nolan? One of those brothers, and they actually make decent, make decent movies or produce decent movies under them. So, and this one looked interesting. I just don't really care for it. Bo was afraid. Who was the? Uh, who? What's the name of the guy that was over this? I mean, I can't remember, and I do not know. I don't even know, and you'll probably see a lot of these movies that you're like, what? Those were a thing, and that's the sad thing, right? You have a lot of movies that just pop out of nowhere, and it's like, you know, I remember a lot of movies back then, like when I was young, but I can't remember any movies that come out now. Like maybe there's a few, you know what I mean? Godzilla minus one. You know, it was a pretty good movie. And most movies nowadays are prequels, sequels, remakes. And then you have the movies that just spring out that are like, wait, that existed? So, don't know. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. That just sounds like a goofy name. Don't know. I should probably look at the numbers. It's on 20 million budget with 219 million worldwide, but not by much. I mean, yeah, $20 million to make a movie. God damn. Goes to the Flower Moon. It only grossed 67 million domestically and 156 million worldwide on a 20 million budget. I mean, this looked like a good movie. It looked like a high production type of movie, at least in the trailer. But man, and Beau was Afraid, 35 million range, only gross 11 million. Midsummer for his budget. So I'm assuming Ari Aster was Midsummer. I watched Midsummer. It was fine, but man, that's a hard fall. I mean, again, at least this was only 35 million. Now that's a lot of money, but not like 200 million. Hey there, guys. Me, Margaret. Box office 21 million worldwide on a budget of 30 million. Shame because the movie is such a winning delight, according to who? I mean, probably. Again, just these movies that pop out of nowhere that people watch just out of curiosity. Dumb Money. What in the fuck? Don't know. Dumb Money failed at the box office. Last fall was in 13 million domestically and just 20 million worldwide. Big disappointment for a star-studded film that cost 30 million. I mean, it made slightly above. It made like 3 million back. I mean, I think that's more than you can say for the previous three. I mean, these were in the negative. I think this one just hit a million back. So yeah, out of the rest of these, you could consider this one somewhat of a success. But the SAG Extra strike prevented the actors from making the press rounds and currently played a factor in the film's underperformance. Yeah, man. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. The fuck? Variety film career named The Covenant, one of the best films of the year, midway through 2023. Film earned just 21 million at the worldwide at the box office. How much did it cost to make it? A budget north of 50 million. God damn, didn't even make half that back. And see, this is the problem, right? Movies cost objectively more to make. And let's be honest, most of it is the actors themselves, right? Like, if you want, say, The Rock in a movie, that's like 500,000 out the pocket for like an hour, or it's probably even more. So and that's just on the actors alone. That's why many movies just hire like big actors. You know, like the movie itself can be trash, but they're like, oh yeah, let's throw a couple big name actors in there, and yeah, hopefully we can get butts in seats for that. Pixar? What in the fuck is that name? Release barely made it past 6 million at the domestic box office and going stronger overseas with a 24, so like 30 mil. Match a production budget that reportedly exceeded 30 million. So again, this one's also in the negative. Don't know what the fuck this is. The Fablemans? Again, yet another movie. Like, what is this? Steven Spielberg's autobiographical family drama. Cost 40 million to produce, but only earned 17 million. Cracked 42 million worldwide. Okay, so this one again, it made some of its millions back, but not by much. Not by much at all. What is this called? The Fablemans? Again, yet another movie I've never heard of in my life. Babylon, another one never heard of in my life. 2022. Barely cracked 50 million domestic. 63 million worldwide. So yeah. A little over 70 million. 80 million on the production. And then millions more on marketing. Yeah, that's in the negative. Yet another one in the negative. Women talking. What the fuck? Won the Oscar for Best Adapted Screenplay with women talking, which centered on the absurd women of an isolated Mennonite community. Again, another movie that doesn't matter. Barely made it past their 5 domestic, 10 worldwide, so 15. As a powerful act of nonviolent protest and a tough. Again, how much did it take to make this? I'm assume not much. But reported in the 8-figure range for the budget. Yeah, then so I'm assuming it costs a lot more than 15 million. She said, don't know. 5.8 million domestic, 13 million worldwide. 30 million to produce. Huh. Wait, so does worldwide also mean as the domestic? Probably. I'm probably not. I'm probably thinking of this wrong. But yeah. Cost even more to make and did not get any of that back. Armageddon Time. This sounds like a goofy movie. Armageddon Time earned favorable reviews. And again, you got all these movies getting good, like, critic reviews. But they don't really earn much. Budget of 15 million, flopped at just 1.8 million. 6 million worldwide. Huh. And again, it's odd for the domestic because they're American movies, right? I assume. Maybe. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of these are. And yeah, it's a way more enough to me. 3,000 years of longing? What in the fuck? This looks like an AI generated image. What in the fuck is that? All the great buzz from Mad Max Fury Road couldn't drive interest for the director George Miller's follow-up 3,000 Years of Longing. The original Amazon Studios release tanked at the box office with a paltry 2 million opening. Oof. How much did it take to make? I need to see I need to see numbers here. It only made 2 million, so I'm assuming it made a lot more than that. Bros sounds goofy. Don't care. 4.5 opener, 4.8 opener. Probably cost more than that to make. Nightmare Alley, 60 million per product budget, earned 37 million worldwide. Garbage. West Side Story. What the fuck are these movies? What the fuck? In order this film gross at 38 domestic, 75 million world globally, cost well over 100 million to produce. So again, garbage. In the Heights, yet another movie I haven't heard of. 45 worldwide. How much did it take to make? It is not telling me. Met a dismal fate at the box office. Okay, so it's saying that's bad. So I'm assuming it costs objectively more to make. The Last Duel. This is one of the biggest box office bombs of the pandemic era. The film budget over 100 million and only grossed 10 million at US 30 million worldwide. Those numbers made it a historic flop, especially the major star Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Yeah, so they had big names. I'm assuming this is easily over 100 million. Oh yeah, it said it right there, 100 million. Lashed out at the millennials for killing the movie at the but why? Scott lashed at the millennials, telling them, I think what it boils down to what we got today are the audience who were brought up on these fucking cell phones. So, okay, so they're attacking the fans. Yeah, see, this is how they do marketing. They attack, they demand, they covet your fucking money, right? And if you don't give it to them, they spurg, just like the schizophrenia takes over, and they spurg the fuck out. The millennials do not ever want to be taught anything unless you told it on a cell phone. What? No, look, people are watching anime. Like, people don't care about going to the movies anymore because they assume these goofy ass movies that come out of nowhere are going to be shit just off rip. Too Many Saints of Newark. Yeah, again, you get goofy ass movies like these that I've never heard of in my life. Right? Sopranos, prequel movie, budget victim, biggest victim of Warner Bros. Decision to pull all of their 2021 films on streaming via HBO Max. 12 million worldwide. I'm pretty sure it costed more than that to make. Called the prequel a living and convincing origin story that compulsively authentic and watchable the way that the show was. What the fuck just happened? What in the fuck? Suicide Squad. Okay, the first Suicide Squad was kind of duty. It was alright, I suppose. But the second one was amazing. Suicide Squad has been the biggest blockbuster that had not been pandemic and Warner Bros. Decision to stream the movies on HBO. Yeah. They did. That's such a stupid. They're like, oh, move it to streaming. It's like, well, why? at 167 million worldwide, only, but with a production of 185 million production budget. Yeah. Yeah, that hurt. That really did. The Suicide Squad found audience. HBO Max prequel series Peacemaker was a slam dunk hit for the streaming service. Yeah, Peacemaker I heard was actually good. Never watched it, but man. Ollie. Will Smith is expected to land an Oscar for the Best Actor. King Richard, yeah. Skyrocketed past 100 million. 100 million. Earned a respectable 87 million. Yeah. So again, this is the point I'm trying to make, right? You have just these random movies just popping out of nowhere and they flop. And again, in the case of this one up here, they decided they were just going to shit on the consumer, right? And it's like, bro, if you're going to do that, like, I guess your movies deserve the flop, right? Because, you know, to your horror and dismay, millennials are still a market. You know, they're not just this group of people you can just disregard. Like, they have money. You know, they deserve a product too. And I know that this is hard to understand, but it's just the way it is. But anyway, I'm not going to go all the way through this. And I'm just going to see if there's a movie here that actually I seen or no. Ad Astra, haven't heard of it. Wait, this was like a movie. No, this was an anime. Ad Astra. Or is this something completely... I seen sci-fi and I was like, wait, hold on. Doctor Sleep. This one looked interesting. Haven't, but whatever. Annihilation, never heard of it. Destroyer, never heard of it. Blade Runner 2049. This was kind of an older movie. 2010s. Yeah, Blade Runner. I mean, it has an interesting world, but this is a long ass fucking. But anyway, I'm not going to go all the way through this. Again, all I'm saying is, you just goofy named movies out of nowhere, and there's just a lot of these that just hit the stage, and none of them really have a lot of creativity, or they probably do. It's just people are so desensitized to Western media that they just don't bother. Because again, they're moving to anime. People are moving to other forms of entertainment because they see, oh hey, Hollywood's not creating anything new. And if they do, it's just some throwaway bullcrap project. Like, when are we going to get the next new sci-fi IP? You know, I mean, Dune's fine, but it's a remake of the book, and they're trying to step away from everything that made the book interesting and the Dune world interesting. But again, why not? Why is there no new sci-fi things? Right? I mean, they're trying new superhero things, but I mean, The Boys, like I said, is just cringe now. I mean, and superhero movies used to be a thing. Like, Sky High was that movie where a bunch of superheroes, like high schoolers, went to school in the fucking sky. I think that's it. Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, The Invincibles is fine, but it's from the comic. DC and Marvel, whatever. My Hero Academia is an anime, but it's pretty good. I don't know. I just don't know why like it's always Star Wars and their bull crap, or yet another Marvel movie, or yet another DC movie, or just throwaway garbage that just comes out, and they blame the pandemic. And it's like at a time where people are forced to stay indoors, or they throw it to HBO and nobody watches it because there's so many streaming services out there, right? So I don't know. I mean, my opinion is again, it's always good to just look through the flops every year just to reinvigorate the mind about it and see which ones are new, current day, see if they compare to ones in the past. But I mean, that's all I gotta say about that. Peace.